is a difference, especially with the first book. The other books, not so much, but definitely with this one, there's lots and lots of differences, and I am definitely going to go through those differences for you if you will not have the time to actually do what I'm currently doing. Okay, changes are minor. Yeah, they are minor. And then there's big changes that I've also picked up where I've seen. Welcome to my channel, Gabaldon Unati, and this is my capsule and also my channel. Okay, first off, I'd like to apologize to my Outlander fans who are subscribed to my channel. I have been AWOL, missing in action, with regards to the content that I had promised to post on my channel. I'd like to apologize, guys. Hey, it was just, things were just not thinking. Life was just lifing. I think my last video was in July sometime. There is a video that I had prepared, that I had taken, and I had wanted to post. I know that by the 18th of July I had been trying to load it, but it just refused. I think the only thing that I did just to save my work was to post, I posted shots of it on my YouTube channel, because I was like, I can't just let my work just go to waste. I refuse. So, and also I was gutted, I don't want to lie. I think that's one of the reasons why it has taken me so long to re-record the feedback that I had planned to post back then. All right, so now in terms of Outlander, obviously if you're an Outlander fan, you know we are on Outlander already. We are currently waiting for next year. I think, is it next year, Jan or April, when we will get the second part of season 7. So, you know what? I'm grateful for the break. I do not want to lie, because I had already taken a decision that I will not be posting as frequently as I had originally planned. Because, you know, when I was reading the current book that I just finished, Dawn of Drums of Autumn, I realized that the reason why I did not enjoy A Breath of Snow and Ashes was because I was rushing through the book. I was rushing because I was not taking my time reading the book. My focus was on reading quickly so that I am able to catch up with what's happening in the series, so that I am able to create content for YouTube. And I think that just killed the joy, the passion. So I just taken a decision, but you know what? I'm not going to post videos, but fortunately the break happened, so I'm very appreciative of the break, even though initially I thought, oh, but actually it works for me. So it's going to give me time to actually catch up on all the other books that I have not read, so that by the time we are on even season 8, I've caught up. So then I'm able to then give a fully informed review and commentary on Diana Gabaldon's Outlander book series. So that is that. Otherwise, I wish you do accept my apology and continue to watch, comment, and like my content that I'm posting with regards to Outlander. And also, please do also head on over to my other playlist, where I'm posting lifestyle content as well as travel content. Okay, let's get into it. All right, so this video is in response or a feedback on a video that I had posted previously, where I had bought the book, obviously, my copy of Outlander. And the reason why I had decided to buy the book is because when I went to look for the book at my local library, I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it. And the reason why I couldn't find it was because I was looking for Outlander and they did not have Outlander. They had cross stitch. So I was like, oh, okay, fine, not a problem. And another thing was that I'm also doing in me consuming Outlander content or Outlander book. I'm so obsessed with content. The Outlander books by Diana Gabaldon. I am also listening to an audiobook that is available on YouTube. I think the channel is by Katia Collins. So I'm reading the book and also listening to the audiobook. And you know what? This helped me a lot, especially since I am also wanting to create content on the books as well. But I would also recommend, if you do have time, do read the books as well as listening to the audiobooks. Well, the reason being is that there is a difference, especially with the first book. The other books, not so much, but definitely with this one, there's lots and lots of differences, and I am definitely going to go through those differences for you if you will not have the time to actually do what I'm currently doing. Okay, let's get into it. I'm serious this time. Okay, so now, as I said before, the first book, the first Outlander book, the title name was Cross Stitch, right? So the first book was published in the United States. That was in I think it was June 1st of June 1991. Now I want you to make a note of this date, 1991. It's going to come in on a later point that I've picked up in terms of differences between the amended books and the original. And the original that I'm referring to, please note, when I talk about the original, I'm talking about the book that what's her name? Why am I going to forget this lady's name? That Davina Porter, that Davina Porter is narrating from in Katia Collins' YouTube channel. So please note that. So it was published in 1st of June 1991 in the United States under the title Cross Stitch, and then later it was, I think in 1991 as well, it was re-released or published in the UK. But now the UK editor or people who were involved on that end decided, but you know what, let's change the name Cross Stitch, because I think they felt that it's going to confuse the market. People are going to think maybe it's a book about needlework and what do you call it, crochet and stuff like that. Yeah, so they decided to change the name, and they decided to change the name to Outlander. And Outlander is a slang, a UK slang for someone who comes from South Africa, an outlander basically, or an outsider basically. So there's that. 1991, note that again. So that's where the name differences comes from, and the reason perhaps why we here in South Africa have cross stitch as well as Outlander is because no, my point is, I think the reason why here in South Africa the copy that I got from my local library, cross stitch, is the same as the edited one, Outlander, is because we were colonized by the British, right? So probably that's why. I'm sure if we were colonized by the Americans, we would most probably also had the American version, which I think it's the one that Davina Porter is narrating from, which is the original. Okay, let's move from the politics. Okay, so what made me interested or spiked my interest in knowing what is happening, or get interested in actually getting my hands on my own copy of Cross Stitch, was because when I was reading and also listening to the audiobook, Davina Porter, when she starts the very first page, when she starts reading, she reads Evenness 1945, and in the book it's Evenness 1946. So I was like, kwenzakalani? I need to know. Initially I thought, okay, maybe this is a mistake, but when I continued reading the book, I just saw there's other changes as well. And also this amendment of the year flows right through the book. And it does not only flow right through the book in terms of just correcting 1946 to 1940 to 1945 to 1946. It also backdates other things as well. For instance, I've written here page 15. In page 15, it's talking about the number of years that Claire and Frank were married when they came to Scotland after the end of World War. What was it? World War II. And also, you need, if you don't know, World War II started in 1939 and ended in 1945. You understand? So to me it kind of made sense why Claire's story would start in 1945. And also remember, I don't think they actually go into detail as to when exactly in 1945, or maybe they do, I don't know, because I know in the book there are times, what am I gonna call them? I don't have the English words going to go to unpack what I'm thinking, but perhaps maybe as much as but they don't actually mention like a specific month, people who are familiar with do I call them rituals, will know more or less when Claire and Frank. Ooh, a new idea is coming into my mind now. It's brewing into my mind right in the middle of this video. You know what? Let me park it. I'll come back to it. But anyway, let's just say for now, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense why they changed from 1945 to 1946, especially since World War II ended in 1945. Okay, so let's go to page 15. As I said, the changes are just flowing right through the whole book and also amending everything else, not just the year. So here it says, if I end up as a child stab on my family tree, it would undoubtedly be the fault of our untiring hostess out there. After all, we've been married almost 7 years. This is what it says in my copy, as well as the book that I got, as well as my copy of Cross Stitch that I got from my local library. But in the one that Davina Porter narrates, it says 8 years, that Claire and Frank had been married 8 years by the time they went over to Scotland for their get back together honeymoon, if I would call it that. So and these are not the only changes that I've picked up. I've also noticed that they've also changed words as well. For instance, words such as in the book it says minister, in the audiobook it says vicar. In the book it says musket, it reads musket, and in the audiobook gunshot, and things like herbs like willowbark in the book, in the audiobook cherrybark. In the audiobook you've got hazel, in the in the updated book you've got thyme. So I don't thyme, I don't know why. It just doesn't make sense to me. It makes sense why they would use words like vicar, you know, manor house, you know, because I mean these were the language that was used back in the days, from either the 18th century to 1945, 1946, is definitely not the language that you would find people necessarily using in the 90s. So that I honestly don't understand the reasoning, the rationale behind changing words as well. Because I think the years, though, that is a different conspiracy altogether that I am planning to unravel, and hopefully I'm going to unravel soon. And things like there's also a part where in the audiobook it reads that they are having lunch, but in the book it reads they're having dinner. And then another interesting part, like there's a scene where I know, I'm sure pretty much everyone loves the scene, that scene where this is just after Jamie has rescued Claire from being raped by Jack Randall, and that intense scene. Okay, I just want to read it to you because the location changes there. The location changes there, and I don't understand why. Because I'm not gonna go or focus kakhulu in what is in the series, because I'm sure in the series they've been they're allowed to apply creative what do they call it, yeah, to twist and stretch things out. So I'm not going to focus kakhulu there as to the differences between what's in the series and what's in the book. For this specific video, I'm just focusing on the differences between the two books. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. I don't understand about why one book is saying Fort William and the other book is saying, which is the original book, is saying Dansbury. Okay, let me just read, give you just context of the change. Okay, as I said, this is the scene where Claire and Jamie are arguing. Jamie just rescued Claire from being assaulted by Jack Randall. So it reads, he glared at me for a moment, then stood abruptly aside. Leave, then, he said, jerking his head towards the door. If that's what you think of me, go. I will not hinder him. I hesitated for a moment, watching him. His jaw was clenched with anger, and he was looming over me like the Colossus of Rhodes. His temper this time was under tight rein, though he was as angry now as he had been after extricating me from Fort William. In the book that Davina Porter is narrating, she says, or she reads from Dansbury. I don't know. Maybe these are the same places, or maybe it's like a situation of I don't know. I don't know. Please, if you do know, please drop a comment down below, because one thing about this channel, guys, I'm not an expert here. I'm just a person who's enjoying reading these books, watching the series, and who has time as well. So please, if I am making a mistake, or maybe there's parts that I've or portions or things that I'm not understanding and missing out, please, 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 I am more than welcome to engage with you and to learn more and to understand more. So please be kind. Please be kind, because we are learning here, we are sharing here, and please, I am doing this because I'm truly, truly enjoying it. So if I am not understanding or maybe making mistakes or whatever, please be kind and just be also willing to share and educate a sister. All right. So as I was saying, these minor changes, I think these changes are minor. Yeah, they're minor. And then there's big, big changes that I've also picked up, where I've seen there's one paragraph that is missing. And this paragraph, I just feel like it is so juicy. I don't understand why it was not included in the series, at least. I don't understand why it was not included in the series, because I somehow understand why it was omitted from the book. Because as I said, this book was published in 1991. This was pre 50 Shades of Grey. And I think the reason why I am okay, or I find it weird that they took that specific paragraph out now, is because I come from a background of having read 50 Shades of Grey. And if you've read 50 Shades of Grey, this particular paragraph is nothing, especially as well knowing how intimate Jamie and Claire are, because those people just love being loving to each other. So when I listened to the paragraph, I was like, but this is not new, why did they take it out? And when I did my research, I found that the UK editor, or the people that were responsible for the publishing in the UK, they felt that it was a bit too much. Let me just say that. I think it goes, there's a website, or that I read, where it went on to mention that they did not, it had something to do with Frank as well. So I didn't understand what that was about. So I'm not gonna go into it. I'm just gonna stick to the fact that they felt it was just too much, and they had to take it out. Why? Okay. The only thing that kind of makes sense to me is that perhaps they were right, perhaps because in 1991, perhaps there was nothing as hectic as 50 Shades of Grey, because I think 50 Shades of Grey just unsettled things and unblocked a lot of I don't know how to call it, but let's just leave it before I start dwabbing. All right, so let's move. Let me get into this paragraph that was removed. The paragraph is in page 366 of, no, it's not 366, 352 of the amended books, which is the cross-stitch book that I had taken out at my local library, as well as my copy at the moment. I don't know what page this is in the original book that Davina Porter is reading from. So let me go straight in, and I think it's in chapter 18 as well. So let me go to chapter 18, page 352. So the scene This is after the group has been survived an attempted robbery by the grunts. This is exactly after that scene. Okay, so I think I'm gonna first read what's in the book and then go on and read, because I felt, let me recapture the narration instead of posting the audio, because I don't want copyright issues on my Outlander playlist. So I think I might dodge that bullet by doing that. Otherwise, again, I would highly recommend that if you are interested to listening for yourself, especially listening to how Davina Porter narrates it, definitely head on over to Katia Collins' channel and give it a listen. I'll try and link the channel on my description box so that it's easier for you to go. Another is it a disclaimer? No, it's not a disclaimer, but it's just a point that you just need to note. You need to be patient with Davina, with Katia Collins' channel. There's a lot of skipping. Like, she'll read, and then jump a few chapters or a few pages. So you just need to be careful. Just be mindful of that and don't get distracted. Just be patient. I'll try and okay, I'll try give you the detail of where exactly you will get which video, because I think she posts like a number of videos for each book, for each book. So I'll let you know about which upload you need to go to and which minute of the upload you need to go into to go exactly where this part of the book comes from. Okay, got it. All right, let's get into it. So this is page 352. As I said, this is right after the grunts tried to rob the group. Okay, so it reads, nay, it was Malcolm Grant and his two boys. It was the oldest I stuck in the leg. They will be home in their beds by now, he replied. He stroked my hair and said in softer tones, "You did draw a bit of work tonight, lass. I was proud of you." I rolled over and put my arms around his neck, not as proud as I was. "You were wonderful, Jamie. I'd never seen anything like that." He snorted, but I thought he was pleased nonetheless. "Only a raid, Sasnach. I've been doing that since I was 14. It's only in fun, you see. It's different when you're up against someone who really means to kill you." "Fun," I said, a little faintly. "Yes, quite." So this paragraph ends here. Okay, all right, let's get into the part that was taken out. Okay. "Fun," I said, a little faintly. "Yes, quite." His arms tightened around me, and one of the stroking hands dipped lower, beginning to inch my skirt upwards. Clearly the thrill of the fight was being transmuted into a different kind of excitement. "Jamie, not here," I said, squirming away and pushing my skirt down again. "Are you tired, Sasnech?" he asked in concern. "Don't worry, I won't take long." Now both hands were at it, racking the heavy fabric up in front. "No," I replied, all too mindful of the 20 men lying a few feet away. "I'm not tired, I'm just—" I gasped at the groping hand. I gasped as his groping hand found its way between my legs. "Lord," he said softly, "it's slippery as waterweed." "Jamie, there are two men sleeping right next to us," I shouted in a whisper. "They will not be sleeping long if you keep talking." He rolled on top of me, pinning me to the rock. His knee wedged between my thighs and began to work gently back and forth. Despite myself, my legs were beginning to loosen. 27 years of propriety were no match for several 100,000 years of instinct. While my mind might object to being taken on a bare rock next to several sleeping soldiers, my body plainly considered itself the spoils of war and was eager to complete the formalities of surrender. He kissed me long and deep, his tongue sweet and restless in my mouth. Jamie, I panted. He pushed his kilt out of the way and pressed my hand against him. Bloody Christ, I said. My sense of propriety slipped another notch. Fighting gives you a terrible cockstand after. Pulling back a little to look at me, it seemed pointless to deny it. What with the evidence, he was hard as a brass rod on my bare thigh. I was mildly shocked to realize that I was not even embarrassed. I wondered rather dimly whether I would be in the morning, and then wondered no more. In the morning, everyone behaved as usual. So it continues in the book from the last sentence that I read. In the morning, everyone behaved as usual, if moving a little more swiftly from the effects of fighting and sleeping on the rocks. Everyone was in a cheerful humor, even those with minor wounds. Guys, why was that taken out? A whole interesting paragraph. I cannot imagine people who will be watching my video who were not aware that this paragraph was taken out. I cannot imagine. I think when like I said, guys, I don't know whether I've said this, but I think I must have said it. I am consuming. I'm so obsessed about these books that I read the book and also listen to the audiobook at the same time. So you can imagine me when I was reading this page and then Davina Potter just kept on going. And I'm like, what is going on? This book is full of surprises and I'm here for it. And I have the time, whoever, for it. And I'm enjoying it. And I think the paragraph part of it is not as disturbing as the changes with regards to the names and the years. I think in some way I do understand why they took it out because I'm linking it to 50 Shades of Grey. I think to some extent that makes me understand perhaps why. Perhaps really there was truth in the explanation that says perhaps the market or people, the mindset, our mindset in 1991 was not ready for that graphic scene. But now after consuming 50 Shades of Grey, I mean, that is nothing. That's why I don't understand why they did not include it in the series. Maybe they didn't include it in the series because perhaps maybe they know that not a lot of people know that that specific paragraph was taken out. And perhaps maybe if they had included it in the series, a lot of people who have read this book would have been like, Haibo. But I don't think so though, because I'm sure even if they had included it, I think most people would have affected it under creative allowance that producers are allowed to have when they are then adopting a book to a series. So I still don't understand why they took it out. I think it would have been such an additional fun view or experience of Jamie and Claire, because we know how much they love each other and love being intimate. So I don't understand why and it took me out when I read it. And I just felt so bad for people who have actually read this version of the book and are unaware of this part missing. truly. So I hope this also makes my subscribers that are Outlander fans forgive me, because I honestly think this is something that you will enjoy, right? Right. So going back to why I don't understand as well the changes in this book, as well as Cross Stitch, the book that I got from the library. There's an editor's note that Davina Porter has. Let me read you this editor's note to you. And you know what? It kind of makes sense why she would put it in here. And at the same time, it just doesn't make sense to me about why she would put it in here and then go and change and make the changes that she's made. Okay, let me first read the note and then go into why Nyani, I think there's a conspiracy about the years. Okay, this is the auditor's note. While most of the historical details and backgrounds in this novel are based on published historical sources and are accurate so far as is possible, some minor events and details have been altered slightly, as required by the demands of the story. For example, the last recorded witch burning in Scotland occurred in 1722. When I mentioned this difficulty to my husband, he stared at me and said, "You have a book in which you start right off expecting people to believe Stonehenge is a time machine. You meet the Loch Ness Monster, and you are upset because your witches are 20 years too late." "You've got a point," I said. "So I have taken history both as foundation and as jumping off point, and trust this admission will discommode no one." I would also like to note that while the botanical preparations noted in the story were historically used for medicinal purposes indicated, this fact shouldn't be taken as an indication that such preparations are necessarily either effective for such purposes or harmless. Many herbal preparations are toxic if used improperly or in excess dosage, and should be administered only by an experienced practitioner. Okay, so I get this editor's note completely, but what then confuses me about it is then why do they go to the effort of changing so much? Because it kind of makes sense why Diana Gabaldon would not necessarily stick to facts, because this is a book. There's fiction, there's fantasy in the book. So I don't understand, and I'm curious. I don't understand, and I don't know. Like I don't know. I kind of feel like there's more to it. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so I think that is it. That is it, guys. So far, I think I've gone as far as this point, as far as my research into Outlander, cross stitch, rabbit hole, conspiracy theory, da 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 da. You can add whatever other words you want to add. And I'm excited. I am hooked. I am deep within, and I'm definitely not letting this bone go. Okay, so please, if you have any feedback or direction or pointers or anything positive, a little bit of negative, please do hit me up on my comment section. Let's talk, let's discuss, let's fall in love, let's be passionate, let's just go mad crazy with all things Outlander. I am here for it. Okay. Yeah, and I think that is it, guys. That is it for now. I think moving forward, I am going to continue reading the books at my own pace. As I said, I'm truly grateful for the break that has been offered, even though it came at a time where I was not expecting it. Well, I, I was annoyed with it. It's not that I was not expecting it, I was annoyed with it. But I'm like, actually, it's not a bad thing. Actually, it isn't. And so I'm grateful for it. So I think my next book that I'm going to read, I just finished reading Drums of Autumn. So I'm going to be starting next week on the Fairy Cross. And then after that, I'll have one, two. I think I'll have 3 more books to read, because I think there's a third one, right? I'll have, because I'm going to read The Fairy Cross, and then I have Echo in a Bone, written in my own heart's blood, and Go Tell the Bees That I'm Gone. So I have those 4 more books actually to go. So I think the break is enough for me to catch up. And I think my next post or video then will be probably around next year, unless new information comes up with regards to the cross stitch Outlander rabbit hole. But I think definitely I'll only post something next year. And reason being is that the one thing that I don't want to come here and do is to post uninformed reviews or comments. My comments and reviews need to be based on something. Whether that something is correct or right. It can't be. I don't want to come here and just wallow and thumbsuck and talk utter nonsense. Okay, even if it is utter nonsense, it must be utter nonsense based on something. So that's why I'm saying, but let me just read all the books so that I'm able to give like a full, healthy, wholesome, complete review and commentary. Yeah. Anyway, let me leave you at that one. Again, thank you very much for supporting my channel. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching this video up until this point. And thank you very, very much for your support. My channel currently now is sitting at 51 subscribers. I am so excited. So excited at this journey that I've decided to pursue for myself by creating content on YouTube, just documenting my life. I mean, this channel for me is a visual diary, and the fact that there are people coming in, subscribing, and actually watching is like, I have no words. Anyway, let me love you and leave you. I will see you on the next one. Bye.